It's a little glitchy, but... There we go. What does this song remind you of, Brian?
Trump rallies. It's on the Trump rally playlist.
Do you remember what that guy told us?
That guy was our neighbor. He was our neighbor for a few hours.
He was very gay. He was rad.
He was awesome.
He had a rad gay Trump outfit on. And he was like, we knew it was getting really close to Trump coming out. We almost thought he was going to come out on this one.
Get the choir.
And then he's all, you know what it means? You know what the lyrics are? What it's saying? And I was like, no, I don't. And he said, we shall win. We shall win. We shall victory. Victory will be ours. And he was like, basically saying like, he was like, it's perfectly...
Vincerò. Vincerò.
Victory, right? Is that what it was? Vincerò. Victory will be ours. Yes, Donald Trump always plays that song at his Trump rallies.
Brought to you by...
It's on the Trump rally playlist for a reason, right?
Nessun dorma. I've always liked that.
Good
by
evening.
Puccini.
Good morning to the one viewer we have. Welcome to another episode of... I don't know. What should
if
call
this
it?
was if this was NPR, it'd be...
It would be... Well, welcome to another episode of the Late Night Crew.
Or...
If you're here, you're part of the Late Night Crew tonight.
Yes. What?
This is lovely. I like this song too. Who's the composer? We got another Luciano Pavarotti. Who's
No. It's Donizetti.
What is
Italiano.
it? Where are you reading that? Who's singing it? It's not Pavarotti?
Luciano Pavarotti. Anyways.
It's beautiful.
Enough of that.
You could put it just on a little bit quieter. It's nice to have in the background. Just turn it down a little bit.
This is the Friday Night Crew.
Yes. Did you have something to say, Brian?
You know, it's been a interesting few days. I think every day I wake early in the morning, and it's
Because you can't sleep.
first of all, I can't sleep. Secondly, I'm interested to see what happened while I was sleeping. In the 3 or 4 hours that I was sleeping, I'm just excited to see what happened while I was sleeping.
We're on the West Coast, and there's things that happen all over the world.
So with excitement, I wake up to see what happens. And you know what?
What lovely things happened today.
Usually the first place I go isn't to Facebook. And I know that you might have been thinking that I wake up and I'm just excited to see that little F in the corner of my screen.
No, I never thought you were excited about that.
When I look at that, I never, like, you know when you go to Vegas and you win and it's like that sound? When I look at the Facebook the icon, I never get that sound in my head, like bing, 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 bing. It's never a good sound. I look at that and it's more of like an alarm. Like
You mean the notifications on Facebook? You don't look forward to clicking on your
I
notifications?
just kind of look at it and I'm like, that's kind of a nasty sight. Like I don't want to.
I kind of don't look forward to I've learned to not look forward to any of my notifications because there's never
on Facebook. I'm just talking specifically.
No, just everything. I'm like, there's never anything that. Every once in a while, but most of the time, I don't know. I'm getting sick of the internet.
Oh, I love studying. I love learning. I love just kind of like shutting everything out. And I guess just it's kind of selfish, but just kind of learning on my own. Not with any intent of sharing it with anyone.
It's not selfish. You have to learn first before you can share.
Yeah, but
It's got to be worth sharing. Okay, so I just want to tell you something that happened today.
Are you telling me?
Yes, I posted it.
Okay.
It's about what Donald Trump did to make elections safer. I saw it earlier post that, let me read it. Oh, you know what? Let's pull it up on here. Right?
Whoever's watching, I don't know if it counts us as a watcher, but I see an eyeball on my screen and it says one viewer. To that lucky viewer out there, I've got a Q sticker for you. My friend from Huntington Beach, every time I see him, he's a local. He's right in downtown. Every time I see him, he's like, "You need a Q sticker?" And he gives me these bunny stickers. Anyways, if you are a Q follower, I've got a sticker for you.
And you want a sticker? Just comment below.
Just comment
And we'll
below.
get that sticker
it's
out
kind of
to
a
you.
trick. It's kind of a trick to flush you out too, to
See
find out who you are. But I will give you that. I'll give you that sticker, and
You know you want it.
it's kind of a I've in my lifetime I've probably seen about 10 Q stickers on cars. Probably about 10. Not many. Yeah. So
Very loud.
sorry.
That's super loud.
Is it, what do you call that? What do you
You're
call
gonna
it? What's that commercial? What's that kind of stuff you guys call it?
ASMR.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugh, so weird. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so this... Oh my gosh, you really are doing it. Oh.
Hopefully you can't sleep. Oh, we got 2 viewers. Hey, what's up, guys?
What's that?
If you're like us,
And you can't sleep? What the heck? Why not talk to the people?
why not be up?
Everybody's schedule is messed up. Everyone I talk to is all jacked up. They're like
I'll tell you what, though.
up all night long. Everybody's kids are up all night long.
Naturally, I'm a night owl. So is Heidi.
Yeah.
So this is like,
Here we go.
have I been live all this time? Have I been eating on camera?
Uh-huh.
Not cool.
Sorry. So, interesting. Director of National Intelligence announces changes to election security briefings. Okay. So then I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's cool. And then on Twitter, I saw a post from 40 Head. Let me look for that one for you, and then we'll just read it. We'll read it. I understand most of it. It's pretty cool. And 40 Head, I'm assuming it's a man, breaks it down really good. Show this thread. Okay. Interact. Out. Let's see. Out damn standing. We've been given a smoking gun. Watch for a significant drop in the Democrats' push for mail-in voting. It's coming. Trump let Democrats make their move now after they're too far in to create a new scheme for rigging the election. Trump drops a boom. The U.S. intelligence community will lead in intelligence-based threat briefings to candidates, campaigns, and political organizations. Bill Evanina, the director of the National Counterintelligence and Security Center, will be the IC's leader to this critical effort. Do you understand what this means? Trump is very proactively protecting the 2020 elections by assigning the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to perform counterintelligence operations to seek out anybody who may be trying to rig or influence our elections. This is not reactionary. This is proactive. You wonder why Obama didn't do the same thing when they said that Russia was influencing the 2016 elections. You may go with the knee-jerk reaction, say because #Obamagate was behind it all, but there's more to it, much more. The IC will continue to work in partnership with the FBI and DHS to identify and integrate threat information, and Evanina will act swiftly to deliver the timely and thorough assessments to those affected to potential malicious influence. And then it has a link. Executive Order 12333 defines counterintelligence as information gathered and activities conducted to identify, deceive, exploit, disrupt, or protect against espionage, other intelligence activities, operations, sabotage, or assassinations conducted by or on behalf of foreign powers, organizations, or persons, or their agents, or international terrorist organizations or activities. DNI Grinnell just put the most powerful and well-equipped counterintelligence team in the world in charge of ensuring that the 2020 elections are not rigged. Go back and look at the list in posts 4 and 5. Do you understand intelligence versus counterintelligence? Look at all the potential threats they assess and gather intel on. Look at their targets: foreign powers, organizations, persons, or their agents. Executive Order 12333, signed December 4th, 1981, Reagan, is the primary document governing activities not covered under FISA and specifies the circumstances in which the nation's intelligence agencies can engage in foreign intelligence surveillance outside the U.S. More from that link. Executive Order 12333 requires the U.S. person information may be collected, retained, and disseminated only in accordance with procedures approved by the Attorney General in consultation with the Director of National Intelligence. Barr and Grinnell cooperation. Trump made it look like his focus was on fixing the FISA program. He looked unaware, leaving Coates in place. That was the plan, so they wouldn't know to create a backup plan. They were confident having Coates in place, blocking D-class, releasing and stalling investigations. They had Coates, Deputy Sue Gordon, follow his every lead, learning to be a traitor just like Coates. And who could argue, after all, who recruited Dan Coates in the first place, then begged him not to quit when he and Trump disagreed? VP Mike P. in kill brackets Pence. Trump now has an honest intelligence community at his disposal with the rights and privileges they need being automatically granted via Executive Order 12333. There will be no fake FISA warrants or dirty judges or traitorous FBI officials to secretly plot and approve illegal operations. This answers so many questions. Why did Trump leave Coates in place for so long? It was a setup so that by the time Trump did remove Coates from office, the enemy wouldn't have time to react. Trump made them look elsewhere as a distraction while he prepared. It worked smoothly. The smoking gun, baby. You're not going to believe the incredible timing or significance of this. Coates is told he's out. Then this happens. The country's number 2 intelligence official, Sue Gordon, knew it was likely she would have to eventually step down from her post. But the timing of that decision became more urgent on Thursday after her boss, outgoing spy chief Dan Coates, interrupted a meeting she was holding on election security and asked his deputy to submit her letter of resignation. Sources familiar with the events told CNN. Coincidence that Sue Gordon was holding a meeting on election security when Coates busted in and asked her to resign? That was Thursday, August 8th, 2019. Exactly 282 days ago. And now, election security will be via counterintelligence. That number 282 is vital. Coates figured it out, knowing his deputy was going to carry out plans of rigging the 2020 elections to take the White House away from Trump, probably with foreign help. Coates stopped her. He knew she would get caught and charged, maybe even for committing treason. It makes you wonder why Obama didn't use the Director of National Intelligence with Executive Order 12333 to do the spying on the 2016 elections. He had the power to do so. There was only one barrier: Admiral Mike Rogers, Director of the NSA and U.S. Cybersecurity Command. This could explain why Obama used the dirty FISA court judges and the rogue FBI to spy on Trump instead of just using the Executive Order 12333. If Admiral Rogers had to redirect satellites and assets to fulfill a witch hunt from then DNI clapped without a solid cause, he'd probably object. Does that make sense? If Admiral Rogers had seen an unfair or an illegitimate request to spy on Trump or any of his assets or allies without some sort of law enforcement case or warrant behind it, he probably would have blown the whistle on the whole thing, and they knew it. Obama used the rogue FBI and the dirty FISA judges to lie and build real-looking cases against Trump's people. What if the sole reason for that was to convince Admiral Rogers that there was enough probable cause to use the NSA equipment and assets to spy on Donald Trump? From 8/8/19, when DNI Coates and his deputy Sue Gordon resigned under pressure from President Trump, through today, 5/15/20, as acting DNI Richard Grinnell assigns a counterintelligence team to protect our elections from here on out, it has been exactly 282 days. Why is that important? Because Trump recently tweeted something. Transition to greatness. The numerical values of all the letters combined is, wait for it, 282. But what's more is the hidden anagram I found in it. Scramble those letters and you get a couple options. I worked out the phrase. Here's my favorite. Set NSA interrogations. Considering how this whole thread ties in with Admiral Rogers, the 282, the anagram, it makes total sense. Thanks for reading and God bless. That was a fun...
That was long.
Yeah, it was interesting though.
What was interesting about it, Heidi? Talk to me about what was interesting.
Well, the fact that we have the counterintelligence is going to be totally involved in our election security now. William Barr and Grinnell are cooperating the directing.
Okay, wrap that up in it, because I don't have the attention span to listen to everything that you said. Okay. I really don't. I just want to know. Just give me in a nutshell what exactly happened.
It's a big deal that the counterintelligence agencies are going to be overseeing the elections now.
Now, weren't they already? Didn't the president already in this past in the midterm election have all of the monitors in all 50 states? Wasn't that already happening?
There was something, yeah. I know there was something happening.
I know that he had to allow things to happen. There was tons of fraud that happened in the past, the midterm election, and the president. Are we looking at that? What are we looking at here?
Sorry.
I know that the president was. He even got pushback. I understand the president even got pushback for trying to have monitors come in from the federal government to watch the happenings of the elections in states. So, I mean, it only makes sense that this is going to happen. There's a lot of things that have been happening lately. Are you guys... I'm curious as to what the temperature is out there when it comes to everybody freaking out still about this COVID virus thing. I've pretty much had my share of it already. Heidi knows. We talk about this all the time. And I'm pretty much done with
talking about it.
My patience is worn thin on people that still are talking about the sky is falling. And there's a lot of people out there. There are a lot of people out there that still believe that this is a real thing. And when I say a real thing, we're talking about semantics. We're talking about words now, okay? It is a real thing. We've talked about this a million times. Nobody's denying that it's not real. People have died from this. Is it a pandemic? When we talk about it not being real, no, it never met the criteria of being a pandemic, a full-blown freak-out mode pandemic. How did we react? We, as in the people, reacted according to how the professionals, the experts. I'm being a dead horse now. This is getting old, I know. And I'm ready. I've so moved on past this, but we still have to re-examine what's going on. I think people need to think about what has happened as a result of the nation, the world being shut down. Your dad doesn't listen to this, does he? He doesn't listen to us.
I don't know.
Hope he doesn't. I'm gonna bring it up today. Today, I was talking to your dad, and he was kind of him-hawing about, like, I can't believe all this stuff is going on. I can't believe, I cannot believe the way they're trying to spin everything. He was kind of bummed out about a lot of things, including, like, he didn't think that Obama was gonna ever see any, he's never gonna get prosecuted, and he was kind of like doing that kind of thing, and I don't know. I'm tired of that already. Aren't you, Heidi? Are you tired about the black clouds? Do the black clouds bother you?
No, I mean, I'm still, and I mean, I don't, you always get mad if I, like, bring up, all the crazy things that are on the news, and I'm like, but it's, but it's crazy.
Stop. You just said it right there. I always get mad when you what?
If I, like, go, Brian, look at what they're saying on the fake news, you always go, calm down, it's fake. And I go, I know it's fake, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, look at the new narrative. Like, there's a whole new narrative now. The
doesn't
world
surprise me. It never ever surprises me.
I know, but it's still, like, interesting to me to see what the new narrative, because they literally have to, like, change it every couple days, and they're all together. Like, the new thing is the World Health Organization was breaking news, announces COVID is never going away. It's so sensational. Like, the headlines are so sensational that I just can't believe that people believe it. Like, literally, the World Health Organization, breaking news, COVID is never going away.
Oh, by the way, this hour is brought to you by...
Fake news. We love our fake news.
We love CNN. That's why we give them homage. Thank you for proving us...
For showing... This is
Thank you for making us look
propaganda.
Good. They make us look really good. I don't know how they do that, but CNN...
So, unmasking, Brian. Remember we were talking about
unmasking.
Do you want me to show this? These are Obama officials requesting unmasking.
Okay. Now, if you know what an unmasking is, this is all new to me. I mean, I'd heard of it. I don't understand what it means in terms of... I mean, I just learned. This is me. I'm a confessed know-it-all. I know everything, Heidi. I didn't know this. Unmasking is when the FISA courts require... when the FISA courts... FISA is... look it up. You know what a FISA court... You know what it is. When they... when you subpoena them, you're supposed to require... when you ask for to spy on someone, there are people that can take the names off of there and say, "Hey, I want to see who they were spying on." You have to have clearance to do it. You have to be a pretty high official to be able to ask So, anyways, when they were spying on Michael Flynn, they had the paperwork on it, and several people came to the front door and and they knocked on the door and they said, "Mr. Shopkeeper, let us in. We want to see the unredacted name of who." Sorry, am I talking too loud?
Yeah, a little bit too loud.
Am I getting complaints here?
No, I'm just noticing it's loud in my headphones. That's okay.
Anyways, there were several people that had nothing to do with Michael Flynn's case that were asking. They wanted to see who was on there. Give us some of those names, Heidi. And how were these names brought up?
No, they're on there.
Oh, right there. I'm sorry.
Joe Biden, and he denied it today or yesterday. They said that he denied it, and then but then his name was right there, so he got caught in a lie. I think that just happened today. James Comey, Jacob Lew, John Brennan, James Clapper, Samantha Power, Dennis McDonough, whoever that is, and then there were some foreign people too, wasn't there? Wasn't there someone in Italy or something weird like that? Anyway, that's a. I think what we really wanted to go over, because we thought Tucker did a really good job explaining the whole thing. Do you want to watch that?
Sure.
I don't know. I just thought that was. I mean, I personally am trying to figure out the whole Flynn case, and I'm like,
before we go there,
understand.
Before we go there, I'm always complaining about something. I always have to complain about something. So, I guess my complaint is to all of those people out there who think that we're sick of this shutdown. There was nothing that came out of this whole world/national shutdown. Nothing but making us stay indoors and not go to parks anymore. I mean, we've already seen everything. You know, churches are off limits. Right now in Huntington Beach, laying out is off limits. But as long as you're doing activities that show that you're worthy of being in the outdoors, because again, if you're laying out, that is not allowed by the government officials. That would be the state government officials in California. And again.
But you were trying to be positive and say there were some good things that have come out of this.
What are the good things? You were trying
to tell my dad that. That's what you were trying to get back to, what you're trying to tell him.
So what are the good things that have come out of COVID? I'm asking you. What do you think? Is there anything?
Me?
No, I'm asking anybody.
Is there anybody chatting? I haven't seen anything.
It's okay. You don't have to chat. You can listen all you want. No.
Oh, there are people. Oops, there it is.
Oops.
Oh, the audio's low.
Aloha, Jeff. Sorry. Make it up higher. There we go. That's better, Heidi. Yeah, you turned it. Okay, it's quiet now.
Okay,
hi, Eve. David Ulrich. Kava Crew's up. Gosh, man. Check these guys out.
Sorry, I thought the audio was too high in my headphones, so I turned it way down.
The Kava boys.
And we didn't have our chat on.
And they know this. I'd be saying the same garbage if I was hanging out with them. So this is nothing. This is all the...
Okay. Who here thinks they understand the General Flynn whole thing?
Okay. Forget the Flynn. Forget the Flynn right now. Forget the Flynn right now.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about what you think
I'm still ticked off.
positive.
Okay, what has come out of this whole entire COVID virus thing? Is there anything positive that has come out of this? And there's many things, and you've got to think about these things. When somebody's like sitting there being a dark cloud and saying, "Oh my gosh," okay. First of all, it's created a panic in a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you that equal to the amount of panic and the amount of the sky is falling, is the amount of fake news these people watch. If you are freaking out about what's going on, you're probably getting your information from the mainstream media. If you don't watch any kind of that, and you're just like hearing things, and if you watched only the presidential COVID virus, I say this every single time. If you watched only the pressers, the daily pressers, there was one today. There's a lot to learn. Today, there was one thing to learn. Most importantly was that Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx both can wear masks now. Did you notice that? If you were watching today, you saw them wearing masks. Did they say anything? That's hilarious. That is freaking hilarious. They're not only not being able to come to the podium to speak, but they're wearing masks. How is that for optics? And the president, again, is not wearing a mask. He never has worn a mask. So what are the good things? These are the good things that have come from it. First and foremost, I believe, and I've said this before, the World Health Organization is being put on blast. These guys are a waste of taxpayer money. Last year, we spent $58 million. The United States spent $58 million. The year before that, it was $350 million. In contrast, that same year, 2 years ago, China paid the World Health Organization $35 million, or a tenth of what the United States paid. I don't care. We're not paying for favors. We're paying for good advice. And the good advice was thrown out the door, and most of the advice favored bad decision-making on behalf of China, from how the information was released to how fast it was released to the recommendations that put many countries at risk. We're going to find out that all this was faked again. But it was set up to make the United States fail and look bad. And everything is coming out. So bad advice from the World Health Organization, bad advice from the CDC, bad advice from the National Institutes of Health.
And then Donald Trump, that is a perfect excuse to defund them. Perfect.
Defund them.
He has a legitimate reason to defund these horrible organizations.
The World Health Organization falls under the United Nations. Again, I might be repeating myself, and I apologize if I am. I probably say this every single time I see you. But the United Nations needs to be defunded. These guys are all appointed. They're all appointees from governments across the world who send their favorite buddy, who's usually their favorite golfing pal or their number one donor. It's just like an ambassador role. You know, it's an appointee. You get to go out there and represent your country on behalf of the United, whatever country it is, and they send you to the UN. Okay, so the UN's a big joke. There's all kinds of money that we send there. None of it is, the UN is the least transparent of any, it's like, so you give them money and they spend it at this party, at this gala, at this ball, at this art exhibit. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. And everyone's just saying, but the UN, they do good things like UNICEF and Amnesty International. It's like, really? You guys really need to do your investigating on the UN. The UN's dirty, corrupt, and see all of the above. So you got...
Corners was saying, yeah, a good thing is the virus. People are waking up to the deep state. Exactly.
Yes, 100%. It gives opportunity for everybody to be at home and to be researchers and to be... Okay, I love wearing the tinfoil hat by myself, but that gets old. Now, this whole coronavirus and everybody being locked down, I'm laughing at everybody, and I'm laughing at everybody in their face, calling them a tinfoil wearing hat just like me. Tinfoil wearing hat wearer just like me. And it has. And I think the first thing that kind of really made people kind of second guess what was going on was the Jeffrey Epstein, when everybody was like, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself or whatever they were saying. That really made people question, like, what's really going on? And then this right now with Bill Gates and with
mandatory vaccines, people are starting to go, whoa, wait, these weirdos have been talking about that for ages, and here it sounds like it's happening. So I think it is making people like ask, does the government have our best interests? Like,
we went to the Bernie Sanders rally. It was like the 22nd of December, and there were anti-vaxxers that were there. They had the big signs. They had the big like picket signs. They're really big, tall, and I'd seen them there. And I think I believe they just look like, I don't know. I think you could paint them really like, these crazy moms, these wacky moms, they're anti-vaxxers. I would never ever have thought that in 3 short months that those moms who everyone could look at like, you're crazy, we get it, you're protective mama bears, we see that, we get it, but it's like, still, you guys are granola eating, Birkenstock wearing, kind of like health, that's really kind of how I look at them. And it's like, no, in 3 months, now they're the smart ones. Those moms are the ones who are always trying to help us and tell us, like, don't be taking those vaccines. These moms, man.
They were just brave enough to listen to someone that told them something,
It's amazing, amazing.
David said, I've had more time to pay attention to what's going on. Good point, Brian. Yeah, people do. They have extra time to read and to kind of look into things because there's not a whole lot to do.
No, so it makes everyone a researcher. That's one of the things that this has done, is made everyone a researcher and make them kind of like question what your liberties are and what's overreach of the government. No one's ever had to even think about these things. Yeah, so it's like now everyone's like, well. And I'll tell you what, we went to the beach today. Heidi and I went to State Beach. State Beach is open in Huntington Beach. So there's City Beach, and then there's State Beach. And State Beach, obviously, it's run by the state. So you got Gavin Newsom, he's really the boss of these beaches. And when you go to State Beach, oh my gosh, this is completely made for the dummies of the world, man. I'm telling you, it is complete.
Oh, the dots.
Insanity what they've done.
Dots on all the parking spots.
Oh my gosh.
Every other spot has a dot. And you can't park on the spots with the dots.
So every three spots, there's
like a big
there's
spot.
there's a red dot.
Or a white dot.
Or no dot. You can park in all the places where there's no dot. And the red dot, oh my gosh, this is so dumb. Okay, this goes along with every complaint that I have about public schools. Oh my gosh, public schools do the same exact...
Follow the rules. Don't question anything.
I'm going to complain. My kids, and I'm getting old already. I'm an old dude, so I'm going to repeat myself over and over and over. I went to my kids' elementary school, and there was a bell that rang. And when we were waiting with other parents on the outside of the school, where the kids would be, they'd be let go at the end of the day. While I was waiting there with parents, the bell rang, and I could see all the kids playing in the playground, and they all took a knee. And then the second bell rang, and all the kids with balls and jump ropes and whatever, all the equipment, they take it back to the equipment room. I just looked at the other parents, and I was like, wait a second. Am I the only one here that sees like jailhouse courtyard behavior, when somebody steps out of line, it's like the guy sitting on the tower with the shotguns, with bean bags or whatever. Man, I don't know what's going on in this world that we live in, but when the kids are responding to bells and whistles, I'm Captain Von Trapp. Remember that scene? Yeah, bells and whistles.
Hey, right. Hulkinator. Welcome to our late night stream.
Is this the Hulkinator?
That's the Hulkinator.
Wow.
Yes. Table of Titans. He lives here in Southern California.
Very cool. So yeah, my complaint is also that this has made everyone, I guess I'm not complaining. This is one of the good things that have happened as a result of this COVID outbreak, is that people are researching. They're thinking for themselves. They're breaking away from the fake news.
Public school even too. Like having a taste of homeschooling is good for all parents. I think it really is good. So I mean that's another benefit. I think people will
question public schools when they come back in.
Or maybe they'll realize that their child that was struggling in school actually does kind of better, like just doing work online and having the less stress of just being around, other kids, all the stuff that comes with that.
How about schools and online? You're gonna have businesses also that have found out that they can they can trim the fat of having all this real estate by operating at least a few days from home, if not a lot of days from home, and it's not necessary to do the 9 to 5 commute to LA or commute to
have all this big office space when you can, many things can be done from home. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It is interesting, all the things. What else? There's so many things that have come out that are popular.
Another thing, immigration. Okay, the president for the longest time was trying to pump the brakes on immigration. He was also he was telling the borders, the Democrats that were fighting to keep the borders wide open. So, that was a struggle, trying to go through Congress, trying to find the funding to build the wall. And then all of a sudden this COVID virus thing happens, and you got the Mexican army sending troops to the border. That looks like a wall to me. Doesn't that look like a wall? Of course it's a wall. And then... Even
more amazing is the process time.
Which took forever. It used to take a long time to have them processed, and they'd send them back into the United States, giving them a requirement of coming back in a couple months at a certain date and time and place for them to be heard, to have a hearing. No, that's now 2 hours. The turnaround time is 2 hours, and they're back into Mexico or Canada. So if people are trying to sneak in from Canada, 2 hours.
So Jeff says the water is a little cleaner here. Why is that? Why is the water cleaner? I wonder.
In Hawaii.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, of course.
Interesting. Why do you think it's cleaner?
Something's going on.
Tim says this is a time for memes and extra large red pills. It is kind of easy to talk about Bill Gates because you can it's so easy to expose Bill Gates.
Yes.
And then you tie Bill Gates to Dr. Fauci, and then Dr. Fauci's the one that we're going to answer all the questions about this COVID virus. We're trusting him. Who trusts Bill Gates? And you can expose Bill Gates. So it's really I don't know.
It's shining a light on corruption.
And big pharma, like it's easy to talk about
big pharma now. See, again, going
because
back,
you can show that the CDC is actually not a part of the government, but a private company that benefits from vaccines.
They fake like they're part of the government.
Exactly.
The CDC pretends like they're part of the government, and they give this advice, and they basically bleed the United States and the taxpayer.
And then you got all that stuff with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and because he's just such a huge voice.
And you did a post today, Heidi, on Facebook, I think, on post that President Trump had made in like 2013 or 2014. This is one thing that you've got to understand, guys. If you are following the president, and if you're following the president on Twitter, if you can unravel it or look. And you can look into his past posts. The president has been posting things on vaccinations. He's been posting on the Federal Reserve.
Years.
He's been posting these things for years.
Obama's birth certificate.
Okay, anybody who's just on YouTube, anyone who's just on Facebook, you are out of your mind if you're not going to Twitter and following the president on Twitter, because that is where the goods are. I mean, take it straight from the president himself. Yeah. And this is what I can't stand, is people will listen to the talking head of somebody who wants to spill their guts on what they believe the president just said. How about if you just cut to the chase and listen to the president himself? So you have people who are listening to the news, listening to NPR, listening to talk radio, to the cycle looped news that you hear in your car when you're driving to wherever. And it's like, and they're not willing to actually listen to the president. I can tell who watches fake news out there. If you're still wearing a mask and you don't have diabetes or you don't have a compromised immune system, then you're watching way too much fake news, because that's the only place that you could ever be acting that way from. Anyone who acts like they're afraid, again, you're watching a lot of fake news. There's a lot. If you checked yourself out and just watched the press conferences, man, you'd be smarter. That's all.
Yes.
Another thing. Wait, take that back. I've said this before. The ACLU, screw the ACLU. They are suing to get the 30,000 detainees that are in the United States. A lot of them are from China and India, from what I'm understanding. And China and India they're fighting to have them stay here. They're not even trying to get their own people back home. So the ACLU is trying to get them out into the United States, and they're just, again, along with prisoners, because, you know, I saw a meme basically saying, if the government was so afraid of, or I don't even want to. I can't. No, I'm not even going to do it. You know what? Because I'm gonna wreck it.
Yes, I do think. He said, "Do you think Trump is setting up Bill Gates and Fauci?" Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Once I started digging into Fauci, and then I saw how close he was to Bill Gates, I was like, "Oh, I see where this is going."
But he's been in that position for a long time.
I didn't know who Dr. Fauci was before COVID.
Well, none of us did. None of us did. I mean, we're all...
So it was interesting to see how closely connected the two were. And then, because I just posted about, I'm trying to reassure Trump supporters that think that Trump is going to make them get a vaccine, that's all for optics. People need to understand. And I just had one tweet that he had posted about how he connected vaccines to autism, and then someone added a comment, and she had a bunch. I had no idea how many times he had tweeted about vaccines. I thought that was very, very interesting, going back to 2014.
POTUS has never had a flu shot either. That's important to know. He's never had a flu shot.
He's known, and I'm realizing now he's been laying these nuggets for years. For years, he's been talking about Obama being
Let's talk about Dr. Wakefield, because we went and heard him. One of the things, is it okay to talk about him like this?
Yes.
Okay. We went to hear him speak, and one of the things that he spoke about was how the batch system.
Say who
Dr. Wakefield. He was the doctor behind the movie Vaxxed. If you haven't seen Vaxxed, it's important to see.
He's British, and he was totally... They tried to discredit him. He's a doctor. They tried to discredit him and slander his name and his findings and everything. The guy is brilliant. We got to hear him speak in a private meeting or whatever, and he just didn't want to have any cameras on because he's like, I can't speak as openly as I would like to. But he did at the end in the Q&A. We asked him about Trump, and he said that Trump, he's spoken with Trump before about vaccines. He met with him, and he said he's completely aware of the connection between autism and vaccines, and that's why he's got Robert F. Kennedy appointed to that special commission. To me, it's just amazing that the truth about vaccines is going to come out, because it really appears
I didn't think it was going to come out that fast. I would have never, ever thought in my life that vaccines were going to come out that quick. I have a neighbor. She knows who she is. She's a total
here right now.
Tessa, you've been saying this for years now, and you know what? I know the world looked at you like you were crazy. Now, for this to happen this fast is mind-blowing to me. I'd never thought it was going to happen this fast, where everyone was going to be shown the light of how bad it is. Everything from who owns the patents to who is. I mean, the CDC owns patents on vaccines. What freaking world do we live in, where it's the wolf that's guarding the hen house, and he's also, he's doing everything. He's not only guarding it, he's everything. It's nuts. And that's what's going on with the CDC. I know that the UN, the United States, I have no idea how much money we're being bled to the UN, but the United Nations, the funding to that is going to end. Again, what good has come out of this? If you're a deep researcher, and I know barely anything of this, but it's like the Federal Reserve is already is right now the Federal Reserve, the chair of the Fed is Steve Mnuchin. He's the Treasury Secretary. He has more power than any Treasury Secretary's ever had. There's a lot of things that are going on with Nasser law. If you believe that the Federal Reserve is gone, then there's other things that are happening as well. the IRS, which is another pseudo-public entity that's inside our United States, a parasite, just feeding off of America, just as the Federal Reserve was, centralized banking. We have the Organic Act of 1871 and the establishment of Washington, D.C. With those things and the corporation. If you look into the corporation of the United States of America in all caps, and how that was a corporation, and how we are individuals. Once we are born with birth certificates, and we birth, thinking about that, like birth, like vessels. We are vessels. We're birthed into water, and it's maritime law. All of this stuff is maritime law. The Corporation of the United States of America, once you figure out that the seal wasn't there, and there's a lot that I don't know, but I know that the seal hasn't all. When the president speaks, there's always the seal of the president of the United States of America. It's the presidential seal. It goes everywhere he goes. Well, it hasn't been there in a lot of the press conferences that have been happening. It's said the White House and for symbols and for optics and to show, obviously to show that there's been a break. I believe there's been a break in that. Federal Reserves, I believe, is gone. We're defunding the WHO. What else is coming out of this, Heidi?
I want to watch Kaylee McKinnon.
Okay. There are good things that have come and are still coming forth from this whole shutdown. And most of it's expose on corruption and exposing things like the World Health Organization, the UN, the Red Cross. I know the president said he was going to reallocate funds that were going to WHO to the Red Cross. The laser pointer hasn't even started to go on the Red Cross, but when it does, we'll find out how evil and how sinister the Red Cross is. Bad stuff. Four Corners, how you guys doing?
Let's watch.
25,000 troops on the border. Thanks a lot, Hulkinator. 26,000 Mexican troops. That's a pretty solid wall. That is a pretty thick wall, if you ask me. I'm sure there's hardly any trafficking of drugs or humans going on at the border right now. Very little. I know there's tunnels going under, zigzagging and all that stuff. But okay, Heidi wants to see her.
Let's watch Kaylee McKinnon Beast Mode today.
Was there at any point any knowledge that when the transition between the Obama administration into the Trump administration, did anybody from the Obama team brief the Trump administration about the depletion of the national stockpile? At one point, the PPE masks went down to below 2%, what the national need was. Did anybody from the Obama administration warn the Trump administration going in?
It's a really good question. Not to my knowledge. To my knowledge, the two things President Obama warned about were North Korea and Michael Flynn. But what I do know is this: the Obama administration wasn't throwing ventilators into the stockpile. They were unmasking Lieutenant General Michael Flynn in the waning days of their administration.
Yes. I love that. And that was, you know who asked that question? Chanel asked that question. She's...
Sorry, Heidi, you got headphones on. I didn't hear a thing she said.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure it was good.
Oh. Did you guys hear it on the live stream? I think it was playing, right? I don't know. But Chanel asked her the question, and it led her to say what the Obama administration was doing was unmasking, not stockpiling ventilators, but unmasking General Flynn. The interesting play on words, unmasking in this time when everyone is wearing a mask. Look at those faces. Trust us.
Is this live? Can they see that?
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay.
They look so healthy.
Well, that left one's a dude.
Yeah, that's a man.
And that right one, I mean the middle one, she looks like
Beetlejuice, right?
Well, Beetlejuice, but also
that one we were talking about, yeah.
I think she's the registrar in Broward County. And I'm going to get in trouble for saying that because, you know, that's kind of insinuating that all black people look alike. But no, nah, just those two. I can say, and Chinese people, all Chinese people look alike, man. There's a billion Chinese, and they, to me, they could all be like really closely related.
Oh
But,
my gosh, Brian.
but I can say that because I've got Chinese. I'm a 12th Chinese, so I call it Chinese privilege.
Yeah. Asian privilege, man.
Asian privilege. So I
Oh,
invoke
there
it.
it is. I just wanted to show you guys that is definitely man. I mean, when I saw it on TV, I was like, that's gotta be a man. And then someone found that picture. So thank you to the person.
Secretary of Health. Wow. Who would have known?
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk that a transgender woman
Would be the
would be
Secretary of Health,
in
because,
Pennsylvania?
well, I'm just going to say there's not a better shining example of health than
mental
Dr.
health.
Rachel. Well, Dr. Rachel.
There's a lot of mental health issues
Oh.
there, don't you think?
Well, I didn't say that. I've
did.
never met this person, so I'm just going to leave it at that, you know. But Pennsylvania, you've one-upped us here in California. You got yourself a winner right there. So when I see that, I just go, okay, guys, good. California, we haven't completely sunk off the deep end. We're there, but we're trying to drag Pennsylvania down with
And
this.
then this one, oh my gosh. Yeah. We don't need to look at those faces anymore. We really don't.
Thank you.
I've had about enough of that.
Okay, yes, the Act of 1870, yes, audio, blah, 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 blah. John J. Eve, how you doing, Eve?
How do you guys feel about Kaylee McCanny? Brian likes her, but he misses Sarah Huckabee.
No, I don't like her that much.
He kind of misses Sarah Huckabee.
No, I don't like...
Every time he's like, I miss Sarah.
Okay, the new one,
How do you guys feel?
Kaylee,
Yeah.
I don't like her so
Why
much.
don't you like her?
She's a mouse. We don't need a mouse. We need like a tiger. A tiger like Sarah
She's
Huckabee.
too mousy.
She's a little bit too mousy for me. And
Oh, I think she's doing.
every time she goes up there, I go, boy, I miss Sarah Huckabee Sanders. But not everybody can be as genius as she was. But we'll give her a chance. Kaylee, we'll see what you got.
Yeah, she's
Different. She's got a different delivery. Okay, I think. Okay, this is just me because I'm a wannabe. But I would tell her to like play up the sweetness because she can like, and she doesn't, because the louder she gets, the more of like a timid, crackly, like, that kind of thing,
Like how I sound when I get mad.
Probably. So if you just like chill and just hit the mic like this, I think people would be like, wow. That's just me though, I'm just a wannabe like.
She is well prepared, Tim. She always has, I'm sure she has a team of people that are like, okay, when they ask this question, say this, because she's ready to go. So that's kind of fun.
You gotta.
And I have a feeling Dan Scavino helps her out.
Okay, I know, but I work in TV. I'm a camera guy in TV, so I just look through the little, that doesn't mean anything, I know. But I just look at the little box. Whoops, sorry. And I can like see it in the little, and I just like look at them, and I like with my eye, I'm looking at them, and I can see through their soul. And she looks nervous. She looks like she's just like kind of, maybe with time.
Oh, you think Kaylee seems nervous?
Kaylee seems nervous.
Yeah, it's new.
I know, but you kind of got to own it. And if you don't own it, then you look nervous. So I don't know. It's just, I'm not there yet. But I'm crossing my fingers for her because I like her a lot. But I'm one of those people that I want somebody out there that's
very critical of everything.
Well, I'm only critical of her because I want somebody to go in there, and there's a way that you can smack these reporters around like so silly, and POTUS does it when he wants to, but there's a way that she has to do it, and it's got to be sweet, but she can smack hard, man. I'm telling you, with what she's got, she can smack hard, but it's just got to be done very nice. but very, I want like a bloody eyeball, like hanging, just like, I want her to take no prisoners
Speaking
too.
of transgender men, this guy did a little rap about transgender men.
Oh, it better be good, Heidi, because if it's not good, I don't want to hear it.
You're such a... I'm like scared to do anything because they'll be like, that was lame.
Hey,
that was gay. That was lame.
The level, though, the level has got to be.
He's such a brat. He'll just tell you straight up, oh, this is lame. Why did you show me that? Why did you waste my time? I don't want to watch that stupid movie. You wasted 2 hours of my life. I want my money back. This is my husband.
But that was before. See, I sensed that Hollywood was as evil as it was. So I just had this sixth sense. I was like, do we really want to give this movie, this production from Hollywood? Like, oh, Jeff. I mean, all these bad people. Yeah, we don't want to give them $1. We don't want to give them a minute. We don't want to give them any time.
Okay, so let's give this guy a minute.
Better be good.
Oh, he's just a dude.
Okay,
he's just a dad.
Let's hear it.
Come on. Stop. Shut up.
He better be good.
Oh, Brian.
I haven't heard any of this, We don't have pre-production meetings here. Everything just rolls. We just roll it out raw. Boom. Let's see what it got. Let's see it.
Okay. How do I make it work?
First of all, there's lots of distortion because his face is right there in the camera, man. It looks fish-eyed.
Just listen to his rap.
Okay, it better be good.
And he's got a good rapping voice for a white dude. Come on.
I can't hear anything.
Oh.
Future generation depends on what I'm writing down right now with my pen. Will they be elevated while I let them descend? I gotta tell the truth, I don't mean to offend, but transgender women are men, and that's the fact of the matter. It leaves you pissed like a bladder, well let me vent. Gender dysphoria is a real thing. You wanna be a woman, it's just a silly dream. We dealing with the sick by enabling them. The fact is they just got a little Satan in them. I'm sorry if it's brash, I can say it again. The devil's in us all in our ear, don't you hear? The voice up in your head that makes you second guess and fear. From saying the truth in the booth, I am a student of who God it is lucrative too. Wealth in my heart is the proof. I am not stupid like you. I fear my God, not a noose. No weapon form will intrude. Transgender.
Okay, you gotta put me on.
Oh no, are you gonna be a brat now?
No, you gotta put me on. I gotta see myself.
Okay.
I gotta see myself. Okay. No, that was so whack.
What?
That was so wrong. My ears are bleeding right now.
Stop it. You're such a brat.
Okay. That.
You
Wait.
brat.
Okay.
That was funny. It was good.
Okay. I'm just gonna tell you why it was bad. Okay. Because first of all, I like the doo-wop rap stuff because that was from that's solid from the 80s, man. This is like LL Cool J. They all had that. Okay. But this is why it was so dumb because it was like. You're
such a brat.
Okay. He never. Okay, if you're rapping, you gotta like get the flow going. The flow's gotta step over and come out and come through and come back. It can't just be a predictable. Bam, bam. Well, in the 80s and the early days of rap, because I lived through the MTV rap and all that stuff. It's like it was pretty like when what's his name, Fresh Prince. He was horrible. That was like the worst rap around, where it was really just cookie cutter. Bam, 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 bam.
Okay. Anyways, why are you still talking about it?
I'm sorry. I just have an opinion about this kind of stuff. Anyways, I'm sorry, Heidi. Are you mad at me now?
You're just mean.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be mean. I gotta.
Oh, okay. So Eve sent a video called "I Wear My Mask in the Car."
Eve.
I wear my mask. Let's watch it. Come on, let's watch it.
Eve's.
It's gonna be funny.
I like Eve because you gave me directions to Playboy Mansion when we were cruising. I wear my mask. So I like Eve. You probably can do no wrong, Eve. I'm just gonna give you that. So if it's bad, though, I'm gonna tell you it's bad, Eve.
No.
If it's bad, Eve, I'm gonna
stop. Just say everything's good, Brian. Be
Please,
nice.
Please, Eve. Please give me something good, Eve.
Shut up, Brian. You're such a jerk.
I'm not. I just got to be, I've got to tell her how it is. Oh my gosh, it's off of, okay, I'm already thinking like Weird Al. I wear my face mask. I wear my face mask in the car. So, for 100 points, who in the 80s sang that song? I wear my sunglasses at night.
I wear my sunglasses.
No, you've got to be like MTV 80s.
Media Bear. I'm trying to find it.
You have to be
Sorry.
like... Oh, you're a station manager? Pretty cool, Four Corners.
Why can't I find the video? Okay.
They wouldn't let me produce because I'm too street. Not street. I'm not street. They just wouldn't let me. They're like, nah, dude.
PBS?
Yeah.
Oh, PBS is lame. You need to talk about how lame it is.
Yeah, they don't. There's no like. They put you in your. They keep you in your lane. Oh no.
Is it going?
Oh, it's going. Oh no. This looks like one of my high school. I mean, a college. When you college 101, make your movies. Oh no.
I think it's funny. You make fun of all these people, and someone made a song for you who wants to make fun of all these people, Brian.
I make fun of people too. So
Keep your distance.
as long as they're making fun of people, I don't care.
It's funny.
It cuts my immunity. TV's got control of me.
Okay.
Turn it on, they say.
But this is not over yet.
Don't trust the man with the orange.
There's 3 minutes left, Heidi.
Okay. I'll stop it. That was funny, Eve. I liked it.
Eve, you're gonna hate my guts. I couldn't do it that long. But I've got a short attention span. I'm just gonna tell you, I've got a short attention span, right, Heidi?
Oh my gosh, so short.
So I don't know why I'm wired that way, but I just I can't watch movies. I haven't watched a movie. If I walk out of movies or fall asleep in movies.
Yeah, you are adult ADD for sure. You probably always had ADD.
But I can watch basketball. I used to be able to watch really bad basketball games, so that's proof that it's not adult ADD. Because even if you put the two worst basketball teams there, like I'm just chill. I used to be. I can't do that anymore ever since the Great Awakening. But before, when I was still in the Matrix, I would just chill and gel on a horrible basketball game with two crappy teams. I'd be like, I like basketball. This is good, So I'm not completely ADD. I'm not completely worthless, right? I can still watch it, like.
It's hard when I want you to help me clean and you can only clean for like 5 minutes. And then you get distracted. This is what you do. You always go, let me put some music on. I'm gonna come back. I'll do the dishes. I promise. I'll do this. I'll sweep. I'll take out the trash. I promise. Let me just put some music on. I just put some music on. Like 2 hours later, I still try to put music on.
Heidi's ready for politics. You know how I can tell she's ready for politics? Because if you were to ask a politician about like anything, like the budget, like what's the funding for the budget for this plan, they'll go, well, for lunch I was eating spaghetti. So, I was thinking about the COVID virus in Italy. And because of I had Italian lunch, and in Italy, they shut down the whole entire country. and so we made this jump. We made a jump from, how did we get to me not doing, like, wanting to help?
It was just ADD. I'm sorry. Wow. I just noticed it a lot with cleaning. There's like when your ADD gets really strong. When it has to do with helping me clean, that's when it gets. That's when it really gets strong. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what you're good at focusing on. I don't know. You're good at focusing on reading Q posts, Q information, research. You could do that for hours.
Oh, man. Boy, could I ever. Man, rabbit holes? Just give me a rabbit hole. Just say, hey, man, go down a rabbit hole. And I'm like...
But you can't watch YouTube videos at all. Like, you can only watch, like...
I
can. I'll watch an hour-long YouTube video.
Oh, my gosh. That's just mind-numbing to
Not
watch.
if it's good.
Oh, my gosh.
Good.
I don't know how anyone can learn watching a YouTube video.
Well, that's how a lot of us are learning, Brian. So we all have different ways.
I just cannot plug in. Like, because YouTube is so close to mainstream media, it's like I just refuse to just give a plug and go...
No, Eve is telling us something. Did we see the woman in front of the Italian Parliament speech? No, I should look that up. I'm going to look that up. This is something probably that went viral. Keep talking, Brian.
Keep complaining, you mean? Let's see. What can I complain about next? I guess I don't want to speak. I don't want to talk about COVID anymore. I'm done talking about it. It's. There's General Flynn who got out. There's all of these. The president tweeting #Obamagate. If that's not the biggest thing ever.
And a shout out to his keyboard warriors, he called them.
Oh my gosh, he shouted out to us. I felt honored. That's rad. That's amazing. And maybe I might be... That's kind of arrogant.
Was that
I'm
speech
one of those
from
guys.
today? Wait, mirror. Italian Parliament speech. Sarah, okay, let's see. Did you see the woman from the Parliament speech?
La deputata Sara
Can you
Cunial.
hear it, Brian?
Yes. Oui. How do you say yes in Italian? Italiano.
Watch the EMS and rescue videos for hours. I'll save you, Brian. I watch EMS and rescue videos for hours.
Which was it?
più protetti rinunciando e concedendo la propria libertà ad un terzo. In virtù di questo, voi proseguite anestetizzando le menti a base di mass media comprati, a mucchina e PNL, con parole come regime, consentire
Right there.
e permettere, fino al punto di permettervi proprio
all the
di normare
captions.
anche i nostri legami e i sentimenti e certificare i nostri affetti. Quindi, in questo senso, la fase 2 non è nient'altro che la prosecuzione della fase 1. Si cambia solo il nome, come già avvenuto peraltro per il MES. Abbiamo capito che non si muore di certo per il solo
That was me. My attention span, I just can't.
Okay. What do you want to watch now, Brian?
I don't have to watch anything.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm like, you know what? I'm like that. If you come over to my place and we're talking, I like to have conversations with people. I like to be fed. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd pick all you guys' minds.
It is. It's hard not having people in front of us to talk to us. We would love to just hear everybody's stories.
There's a couple people that.
Tim says the best part is near the end.
Okay, let's put it on then. Let's put it back on.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I know. It's just Brian.
Well, no, but the thing is I'm hearing it in Italian. I'm gonna brag. I've got a lot of Italian friends that are Q followers. Just gonna say it. And I have no idea what they're saying, but I see all their memes, and they're the same exact memes that I have in obviously Italian. So I'm just kind of bragging. You know? I'm just gonna tell you, I got Italian friends.
Nel 2016, tra l'altro, ha dato un più 30% al Global Fund proprio di Gates. Ci sono gli amici di Aspen come Sassone e Colau che con i suoi report di 4 pagine da 800 euro l'ora, senza alcuna revisione scientifica, ci detta la sua politica da generale del Bilderberg ben lontano dai campi di battaglia. Ma l'elenco è lungo, molto lungo. Ci sarebbe anche la Medtronic di Arcuri, eccetera, eccetera. Contributo italiano all'Alleanza Internazionale contro il
Where we go, when we go all.
140 milioni di euro, di cui 120 a Gavi Alliance, proprio la no profit creata dalla Fondazione Gates. E sono solo la parte dei 7,4 miliardi di euro recuperati dalla Commissione Europea per trovare i vaccini contro il coronavirus, che serviranno proprio a quanto sopra descritto. Nulla ovviamente per la sieroterapia, che ovviamente ha il terribile effetto collaterale di costare pochissimo, tanto meno per non parlare della prevenzione, quella vera, che riguarda il nostro stile di vita, la nostra alimentazione e il nostro rapporto con l'ambiente. Il vero obiettivo di tutto questo è il controllo totale, il dominio assoluto sugli esseri umani, ridotti schiavi e schiavi, violandone il libero arbitrio. Il tutto tramite i vostri inganni travestiti da compromessi politici. Allora, mentre voi stracciate il codice di Norimberga con TSA, multe, deportazioni, riconoscimento facciale e intimidazioni, avallate dallo scientismo dogmatico protetto dal nostro pluripresidente della Repubblica, che è la vera epidemia culturale di questo paese, noi fuori con i cittadini moltiplicheremo i fuochi di
Wow, multiply the fires of resistance
che vi sia impossibile
in a way that you won't be able to repass all of us.
Le chiedo gentilmente, Presidente,
Colleghi deputati, questo è un Parlamento libero dove ciascuno ha diritto di esprimere le proprie opinioni e ognuno è tenuto a rispettarle. Se non le condivide, a sua volta ha la libertà di manifestare il proprio pensiero. Basta con questo atteggiamento.
Grazie, Presidente.
Prego, concluda.
Concludo. Chiedo a lei, Presidente, di farsi portavoce di un consiglio al nostro Presidente Conte. Caro Presidente Conte, la prossima volta che riceve una telefonata dal filantropo Bill Gates, la inoltri direttamente alla Corte Penale Internazionale per i crimini contro l'umanità. Diversamente ci dica come dovremmo definire l'amico avvocato che prende ordini da un criminale. Grazie.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Wawa weewa.
That there was Sarah Cuneo
She was woke.
from Italy. Holy, that was amazing.
Where we go, when we go, all Italy.
That was amazing. I love to hear passionate speeches from people. You know,
Patriots all over the world.
Patriots and the deep state is everywhere in every single country. There's an element of the deep state, and we all know that Italy is deep state with the Vatican there, but they've also got the mob there, and it's been going there for a long time.
The world is watching, and I think we are all inspired by each other, Tim. Don't you? Like as we watch, as patriots all over the world watch what we're doing and what's happening in our different countries. I think we inspire each other.
Well, just like that inspires me. She inspires me to that. I don't know. You kind of check out.
Hello, Jorge. We got a Jorge in here.
What's up, Jorge?
We haven't met you before.
I think it's interesting to see that there are other.
Thank you for sharing, Eve.
Yes, thanks, Eve. There are other woke politicians and people that are aware of what's going on in their own countries, and when they can tie it to our countries and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they understand that all of these things,
the New World Order,
then it's just an amazing. I don't know. I don't even speak their language, and I feel her spirit. You know, so I guess that's the cool thing is I was bragging earlier about having Italian friends. And I have a lot of Italian friends. I'd say like 30 or 40.
On Facebook.
Oh, that's of course I mean on Facebook, fake book, whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it.
But it makes you happy to see how many Q patriots are in Italy.
Yes.
That and he's like, we don't even understand what I don't understand Italian, but he's like you said earlier, they have all the same. It just looks like they're all truthers, just trying to spread the truth in Italian, and it's just. You recognize the same faces, the same names, trying to spread the word in all our countries about the awful situation that we were under, like how scary and how close we truly were to just being totally controlled. It's nuts when you really think about it in a deep way. When you look at like the 16-year plan and you look at rules for radicals and you see, well, just even right now, I mean, I would be totally scared if I wasn't a Q follower right now. I'd be tripping because I'm like, why isn't President Trump stepping in?
And going back to the vaccination thing, people are so easily, I don't want to say wooed, they're so easily convinced that the president is not doing the right thing for the citizens of the United States of America. He's talking
because
about,
he keeps talking about vaccines,
about a vaccine at the end. But you have to take into consideration everything he said previously and prior.
His actual actions, like appointing RFK to a special commission to look into vaccine.
His tweets.
Safety. And his tweets. And it's, yeah. Everyone needs to be rest assured that you're not going to get
a mandatory vaccination
under Donald J. Trump. That is not going to happen. He's all about. He also signed something about an executive order about medical freedom, I think.
Yep. And you got to think about the direction he's going with the Right to Try Act, because it's like, if you're on your way out and you know you're terminal, it's like, why shouldn't you be able to try anything you want? And it's all within reason, because obviously you're trying to stay alive. You're not going to like, okay, just, yes.
Yeah, it's your life.
It's your life.
And now we know more than ever why that was so important to Trump, because he knows that all these cures are out there. He knows that all these alternative ways of healing the body exist. And
well, I mean, they just had the Human Genome Project that was just completed pretty recent in the last 10 years. And that when they employed private companies to help in the sequencing, they these companies basically cornered the information that they obtained in research, and rather than sharing it like they should have, they just sat on it. These people are going to pay. There's the example of that one guy recently that had purchased that AIDS, and the AIDS, it was one of the drugs needed in battling AIDS. He purchased it, and he like doubled or quadrupled the price of it just because he was the one. I mean, and as unethical as it was, I don't believe that it was illegal, but it's still it's shown light on how manipulative big pharma and pharma, for that matter, could be when it comes to cornering markets and cornering cures, and possibly, and having treatments like they've been doing this whole entire time to treat rather than to cure. And again, going along with the president, though, the president always says the cure can't be worse than the actual
the disease.
Or
whatever he said.
Yes.
Or can't be worse than the problem or whatever.
Than the problem.
Remember what I was reading today about the Spanish flu? I thought that was kind of interesting.
He always talks about the flu being in 2017.
Okay, remember how... No, in 1917. 1917. But the Spanish flu happened in 1918. Then I was reading this guy, but nothing's happening.com. I don't know. I just found him on Twitter, and I thought it was an interesting post. And he was talking about, this is totally random, changing the subject. But it's about Frederick Trump.
Frederick?
Well, Frederick Trump is the grandfather of Trump. Is his dad also Fred?
Oh, I don't know. Frederick Trump. Yes. Of course.
Okay, there's all these interesting things. I don't know, maybe you guys have done the digs on the family history of Trump, but I'm just learning this now. And this guy is saying, let me just read a little bit of it. The final chapter of the story of Frederick Trump opens many questions that I can't answer, so far removed from the events. But they are questions, again, based around facts that do not support the official story that the Trump family has told. I believe that cover story was told to camouflage the alliance between the Bureau and the Trump family. History and Trump biographies tell us that Frederick Trump, grandfather of the President of the United States, died on May 30th, 1918. One of New York's first victims of the Spanish flu that Trump always talks about, right? I believe that this is very unlikely to be true, that he died of another cause and a narrative crafted to make his death look fairly ordinary. Maybe it was not. He's just speculating. The depictions of his death state that Frederick Trump was walking with his son on 5/29/1918 and felt suddenly and extremely sick. That is not the typical progression of the pneumonia. He was diagnosed at the time, or the Spanish flu, the diagnosis is changed to over time. You do not feel suddenly or extremely sick while walking down the street with your 12-year-old son. Frederick died the next day at the age of 49. Again, a very rapid progression for either pneumonia or influenza. Had Donald Trump's constant insistence that he has good genetics for longevity a hint to investigate why his grandfather died so young? In the 1918 Spanish influenza outbreak was an extremely virulent form. It killed many healthy people in their prime. So there is the possibility that it could have been that flu, but the symptoms of the rapid severe onset that appear to be pneumonia also apply to poisoning with potassium cyanide salts slipped into a drink. So let's look at how the Spanish flu was impacting New York City in late 1918. Was it a full-scale epidemic or a pandemic at that time? In a word, hell no. In fact, on June 7th, the city health department reported only 2 flu-related deaths in the previous week, and that was from the 1917 strain, a very weak strain of the flu, in fact, that was disappearing as summer conditions arrived. In fact, the Spanish influenza did not reach, listen to this, the Spanish influenza did not reach New York City until August 10th, weeks after Frederick Trump had died. Even then, it was contained by quarantining a ship's passengers and crew, and there were 0 fatalities from the incident. The flu ravaged the city during the winter of 1918 and 1919. Okay, so what I thought was interesting, and I don't know if this means anything, but Trump always says 1917 when
the plague was in
1918, but here in this guy's article that he wrote, he says there was a strain in 1917 that was really weak and that disappeared. And then he said that Frederick Trump died before the outbreak of the Spanish flu of 1918. So I don't know what we're supposed to get out of this, but I don't know. I'm just going to kind of, that stood out in my mind because Brian always, every time he comes on, he always would say, he always says 1917, but it was actually 1918. And that's what all the books always talk about, the Spanish flu of 1918. But apparently there was a flu in 1917, but it was very weak. And I've kind of also read too that the COVID strain that was released was a weakened strain. And so that kind of popped in my mind.
Hey Eve, I like that you're dropping these links here. I'm gonna have to go back and check them out later. I know that there's
great link, Eve. Okay, I'm gonna look at it.
There's a Dr. DeMoss. Here he's a chiropractor here in Southern California. He puts on this big event. Friends of ours, I like that you're dropping. Friends of ours gave us tickets to he has a big event here in Orange County. And we were able to listen to some of the doctors that were presenting. It was amazing. It was pretty cool.
But one of the highlights was actually Russell Brand.
Okay, before talking about Russell Brand though, I mean the doctors that were there were phenomenal. I enjoyed hearing doctors talking about frequency, vibrations, And there's a lot that we don't know. There's tons that we don't know. And
so
to
this is
hear
what the link she sent is about. The Rockefeller Carnegie Big Pharma scam.
I know. I mean,
Go ahead, finish it.
I could. That's a long reading.
I know. I'm not going to read it.
But you started to.
No, I was just reading what it was called.
There's just a lot. There's a lot to learn. I don't know anything. I feel like I don't know anything.
I feel like I don't know anything either when it comes to natural medicine. Because we've never been taught anything. By design. Anyway.
Well, I just don't... About 10 years ago, I was diagnosed as being pre-diabetic. Whatever that means. I don't know the term pre-diabetic. I was put on a couple of drugs. And ironically, a couple of the drugs right now are up for class action lawsuits because of the side effects that they had. One of them is lisinopril, and that's not a diabetic drug, but it was a high blood pressure drug that I was taking that my doctor had prescribed. But there was a couple other drugs that were given to me, and metformin was one of them. When my prescription had expired, and I stopped taking it for about 2 weeks. I just let it lapse. I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, I'll get back on it whenever I get back on it. In that time that I had done that, and been about 2 weeks, I felt myself like having all this energy, and I felt myself like feeling good. I felt myself feeling better. And I stopped. I just stopped taking it.
You're like, whoa. Well, you also there's so many side effects to the medication they gave you. And you didn't even... it was just so weird. It was such a weird diagnosis. Like, someone said to you, either you're diabetic or not. You're not like halfway diabetic, and that's kind of what they told you. And they put you on all these drugs.
Well,
they made you feel like crap.
I tore my Achilles, and when I was going into surgery to repair it, the nurse that was testing my blood, she'd asked me, she goes, "We just got to test your blood sugar, make sure you're fine." And I told her, I said, "Well, they told me that I was pre-diabetic," and she laughed. She goes, "Well, it's like you're either pregnant or you're not. It's not like you're pre-diabetic or not diabetic." And I was like, "Well, that's what they called it. That's what they call it, pre-diabetic." And she checked my blood sugar, and she goes, "You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you." And I was like, "Okay, whatever they said." It was confirmations like that made me just go, you know what? I'm not taking this stuff. And I stopped taking metformin and lisinopril and a couple other drugs that I was on. And shockingly enough, by no doing of my own, I lost about 100 pounds. Right, Heidi? When I stopped all that stuff, I lost about 100 pounds.
No, not that much.
It was 80 pounds.
I don't know.
No, take that back. No, take that back.
Didn't lose
Not
that much.
I'm exaggerating.
How big were you?
300. I weighed 305 pounds.
Okay.
So I weigh about 230 right now. So I've lost about 70 pounds.
Okay.
So.
That was a lot.
That's a lot. That's like
But you healed yourself. I guess. You're not on any medication.
If you call not taking prescription meds healing myself, I think it's more of like I wasn't jacking myself up anymore. So that sucks that you call. That sucks that when you call yourself getting off of prescribed medication, you call that.
When you shouldn't have ever been on it.
Yeah, that's healing yourself. No, I just call that I'm not screwing my body as much as I was before. Not that I don't like. I'm not. I could eat a lot healthier. There's a lot of things I could do better. So I'm not.
But yeah.
But yeah.
Very interesting. My mind is blown when it comes to all the things I'm learning about. Just like what you just sent, Eve, that link, because I started listening to someone explaining the history of the natural or homeopathic doctors. How
Rebel Jack. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just how they were demonized and made to look like the quacks, and then how the Rockefellers took control of all the medical schools, and you had to go through them. And I just listened to a lady talk about that, and I was like, whoa. So maybe all medicine is bad? I don't know. That's what I'm tripping out on.
Well, there's a lot of things that they've also putting in the air and in the environment and spraying. I believe chemtrails are like way crazy, and a lot of people think I'm nuts for even thinking this, but when you see, I guess one of the things that really turned me onto it was when you see John Brennan talking about it to the
Congress?
National Press Club. I forget what he was talking to.
Oh, in that speech.
Yes. John Brennan's talking about strategic aerosol injection, SAI, as a tool to combat global warming. What a freaking dumb, like, really? So they're going to spray metal to reflect the sun because the sun's so bad. So you want to reflect the harmful effects of the rays of the sun and stop them from reaching the earth. These pseudo-scientific people.
It's called the Hippocratic Oath. They are hypocrites. I mean, the word must have the same root meaning. Why is it called the Hippocratic Oath? That is really, I never thought about that.
Well,
you're nuts. That's why we love you.
Oh, man. Yeah. When you start opening up your mind to these everything from big pharma
Is our picture frozen? That's frozen on the stream.
Play it. See what happens.
What do you mean? There's nothing.
Go to YouTube, Lucid Mouse.
Okay.
Leave nature alone.
I know. It's crazy. Okay, is it working? Is it acting normal? I think it is. Alright. What do you want me to put on, Brian? Anything?
Do we have any rap fans out there?
What do you mean?
Yeah, y'all froze for me. Audio good though. So the audio is working, but the picture froze. We'll try putting something on from
Yeah, it's still frozen.
Yeah, but it is a good picture. Okay. I'm going to turn this video off behind us because that's probably slowing down our signal. Off. There we go. We should be having a good picture now.
I don't know why that would matter.
Okay. I rap too. I'm not in... See? Okay. I like this video. It got taken down and it's back up, and I want to share this video with you. Oh, are there Q drops that came today? Are there any new Q drops?
I think so. You want to look?
Yeah, why the heck not? Because we're Q followers. I wrap tape on stuff. Shoot, I wrap up like that too. Not very good. Ask Heidi. Like tape showing. My corners are all crooked. Yeah, he said 4 corners. You know what? 4 corners report? Guess what? Mine are 4 whacked corners when I'm like rapping with Heidi on Christmas Eve. All tired. She's going to say, I don't do anything. I don't help her at all. I don't rap nothing, dude. So I guess I just don't rap either.
Shuttle launch video countdown is a go.
I saw that T-minus 17. T-minus 17. And counting at T-minus.
Oh, that's another thing. The New Jersey Governor Murphy announces mail-in voting for July 7th primary. Is this about the virus or the election? The truth is right in front of you. And then I also read that the Congress, the House, voted that they can vote in
proxy
vote for like up to 10 people.
Did you guys hear about proxy voting?
Stupid.
Okay.
These people are stupid.
A member of the House of Representatives now can come, show up to Congress, to the House of Representatives, to the House, and he can vote on behalf of how many of his fellow congressmen? Was it 5 or 10?
10.
Up to 10. It's never happened before. So they can vote on behalf of 10 who don't want to show up.
It's crazy. And the Republicans are all fighting it, going, this is stupid.
Maybe that's for like them in November, so they can vote for 10 of their dead friends when they show up to the polls. They go, oh, my auntie and this person and the neighbor that died 2 years ago and all this.
Oh, yeah. And I read that there's like piles of mail-in voting stuff everywhere. Like they're going nuts, sending like multiple mail-in votes to, especially to the Democrats. They're just like, there's just the push for the mail-in voting is so obnoxious. It's so obvious what they're doing. What are you doing?
Messing with the microphone. Seeing if it works better.
There's a 6.5 earthquake that struck in the remote western Nevada early Friday, according to U.S. Geological Survey. And it was felt from Utah to California, and it was near Area 51. What is going on in Area 51? I think they're blowing up stuff down there.
Tunnels. What level
Curious
tunnels?
about
I don't
that.
know. I
All
thought the
these
battle...
tunnels.
Because we've already had one battle over at China Lake. That was supposed to be a big battle that happened in California. So what's going on in Nevada, which is pretty close to not very far from China Lake, it's got to be, on the way there. They've got to be connected. Imagine they are.
Yep. The House okays proxy voting during pandemic. So, but then does it have to still go to the Senate? It won't pass in the Senate, right?
No.
What's this you posted? This plays out like every scene imaginable in which an ousting power is sweeping in. North Vietnamese sweeping into Saigon, with Huey's landing on the roof of a U.S. embassy. The scene from the movie Argo, clown approved, in which the Shah leaves the Khomeini regime, clown approved, is installed. What was going on when Obama was leaving the White House? Thanks, Gateway Pundit. What is this about?
Read it.
I haven't read this story. You want me to read it cold?
Just go ahead and read it right there, the title. You skipped the title.
Stunning. Deep State made unmasking requests on Trump family members the morning of President Trump's inauguration. As the details surrounding the Spygate scandal continue to be revealed, it is clear former President Obama was involved in the biggest political scandal in the history of America. If former CIA Director John Brennan is outed as the quarterback of the dossier scandal, then by association, so is his boss, former President Obama. In February 2019, the Gateway Pundit reported that Nellie Orr, a communist sympathizer and the wife of former Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, was investigating the Trump children during the election while she was feeding Democrat propaganda to the FBI and Deep State. Nellie Orr was also working for Christopher Steele to write the garbage Steele dossier. A source familiar with the closed-door testimony confirmed to Fox that Nellie Orr told House investigators that she was tasked with doing opposition research during the 26th campaign on Melania Trump, as well as on the president's children. But Nellie Orr was not the only one targeting the Trump children. Conservative Treehouse today reported on the unmasking of Trump's family members on Inauguration Day back in 2017. It says the Obama deep state operatives were still working to find evidence of wrongdoing by the Trump campaign, the Trump transition team, and the Trump family, even on Inauguration Day. They never found anything. And Trey Gowdy says, it's not just Michael Flynn. There was an unmasking request made the morning of the inauguration. The morning President Trump's family members' names were unmasked. So that needs to be reformed. But you also have a real nice witness list to start investigating the leak of classified information. And I'd be curious how many people on this unmasking list have been interviewed by the FBI. Yeah, what role is Trey Gowdy going to play in all this?
Hi, first of all, I got to say hi to the Duke The Duke of Campbell's Ledge. He said hi.
Hey, Duke.
What is that? Coffee?
Bacon and coffee.
Bacon and coffee. Okay.
Partake. I'm on the move.
All right. Well, he had to move on out. Okay.
He's just giving us bacon and coffee.
I guess if you're watching this, my big thing about everything, and we're kind of all over the place right now, but with this COVID thing, I want to get past it. I'm done with COVID. I'm done. I know the states are still fighting what's going on, and I believe that there's a lot of things going on that we don't know are happening behind closed doors while this whole entire shutdown is going on. I think that we're not at the place in big cities where we have to be for there to be a referendum on the DNC. I have to think that when I see Garcetti saying that he's going to shut down Los Angeles, he's the mayor of Los Angeles for another 3 months. I'm thinking we right here in the next county over, Orange County, south of LA County, we're almost wide open for business over here. What's that going to look like when you got two counties where one's open and one's shut right next door to each other? And then you've got to think about this throughout the United States. Which counties are still open? DNC controlled. Democrat controlled cities. That's all the people who are keeping everything shut down and closed. What is that going to look like come November when politicians are still trying to keep their Democrat controlled cities still in lockdown and still playing these stupid games of why we have to wear masks, why we have to keep social distancing? I mean, what's that going to look like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now? How long and how much patience do people have? We're going to find out really soon, and this is happening all in Democrat-controlled cities. I think we're not there yet. So as the world turns, as things still happen, you still have these pockets in big cities. And I laughed because the narrative just yesterday on CNN, one of the stories that they were pushing was how we as in the people who are watching, the consumers who eat that crap that they feed, that we need to live in big cities, right, Heidi?
Oh yeah, that was weird. Because I remember reading that and these people's, this communist New World Order, their plan was to get us all out of the suburbs and put us all in the cities. They want everyone in the cities. And then there they were on CNN saying, we need cities. Cities are good. Everybody should live in the cities. They're good for the economy. Blah, blah, blah.
We're
blah,
froze
blah.
again, Heidi.
I know.
We're froze, but I don't. But you know what? Guess who checked in?
Shiz and Giggles. What's up? We haven't
Greetings,
seen you for a long
Earthlings.
time. We miss you.
Greetings.
We miss your humor. Okay, I don't know. I'll just keep it on something else until I fix the glitch.
I think that there's a lot of amazing things happening that I guess if you follow President Trump and what he's doing, a lot of people don't. If you follow what's going on, if you're following us and you're listening to what we're saying right now, the most important thing that I would ever have to say about anything that I've learned is to just keep a cool head, because you might be, if you watch the fake news, if you watch the mainstream media, if that is where you get your news from, you're going to find out that you're living in this world of the sky is falling. And I need to worry, and I need to have a mask on. You just got to cut yourself from all that stuff. And when you learn about the things that the president is doing, I would encourage you to get that list, to think about that list. Like, why is it that you support the president? Think about it. Have that conversation in your head so that when somebody does ask that question, you know how to rattle off the many things that you love about what the president has been doing for our country. So, and be optimistic. I mean, don't be a dark cloud. Don't be, and I'm a very dark cloud. So I go around and I like, when I'm saying I'm dark, I'm not dark like that dark, but I'm dark as in like I can get pretty pissed off at, at people. I can be very impatient. I can tell people you're a waste of my time. Like, I don't have time for you. It's and I've done that a couple times, but man.
Listen to this.
Uh-oh. I'm getting preempted by Obama. Something he said.
He says, there's something very weird in that Obama audio clip. Have you noticed? Listen attentively. What do you notice?
That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that basic, not just institutional norms, but our basic understanding of rule of law is at risk. That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that basic, not just institutional norms, but our basic understanding of rule of law is.
What is he saying?
What is that? Like an excerpt of his trial? They're already having military tribunals? Is that a leak?
I don't know.
What the heck was that? And what's going on with Huma? Now we're looking at Huma giving a hug to...
Is this Huma? Is that Huma, Abedin, Lindsey Graham hugging?
Hugging
on
up?
Like a long lost buddy?
Whoa. You just don't trust Lindsey, man. That dude's dirty. Look at that. Huma. He's like, you got that frazzle trip. You got that frazzle trip.
That was a very long, extended hug.
That's what they were saying. Got the frazzle. That was really gross.
Okay. What else we got going on? President Donald Trump, best president ever. Why do we keep...
Okay. You have... What time is it right now? I'll tell you what time it is. Boys and girls, it's 2:07 Pacific Standard Time. If you're up here on the West Coast and you're listening to Heidi and Brian, I hope this is better than George Norrie, Coast to Coast.
It's probably not.
It's probably not, because we don't have enough. Well, I can tell you about aliens. I can tell you about reptilians. I can tell you about Agartha. How about DARPA? How about Club 33? They're all on the Q map. If you don't have yourself a copy of the Q map, you should look that up. This is NPR radio.
Do you really think she's a man?
Are they watching? Is this watchable? You should put this live to
Yeah,
screen.
it's on.
Oh.
Been the whole time.
If you're bored, go ahead and look up Lady Gaga.
I'm not convinced that that's your only evidence, is that one video clip that she's a man.
Okay, has anybody done digs on Lady Gaga? First of all, any lady who has to expressly say that she's a lady, that's redundant. if you're a woman and you call yourself lady, it's like you're calling. It's like, why would I call a woman lady? I don't know. Maybe that's just me as a dude. But it's like, I'm thinking too hard because of course she's a woman. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, just like Victoria's Secret.
Did you see this? Someone sent me this too. AG Barr has established a hotline to report civil rights violations by governors. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So going back to Hollywood, Pedo Wood, the Khazarian, whatever, Mafia Wood, whatever you want to call it. You've got you got Victoria's Secret. Do the dig. What was Queen Victoria's secret? Okay, and what do you think Victoria's Secret would be now? There'd be nothing funnier than to have a bunch of men, that just like worship these women who aren't really women at all, but are a bunch of dudes parading around as women. Yeah, that sounds like Victoria's Secret. I can't. Okay, I gotta let POTUS talk.
Okay, this is about super duper missile.
Okay, we're going
That's
from.
what this is titled.
Okay, so yes, we're jumping.
We're just going through the news right now. I hope you don't mind.
Won 17 times, and
he said 17.
It's just gotten the go ahead. 17 times faster, if you can believe that, General. That's something, right?
Oh,
17 times faster than what we have right now. Fastest in the world by a factor of almost 3. So I just want to congratulate everybody and thank everybody. Space is going to be, it's going to be the future, both in terms of defense and offense and so many other things. And already,
you're going to have to convince Heidi of that because she doesn't believe anything that I say.
We're now the leader in space, and that took place. Don't forget, we're having a meeting today. This is really to
look at Rebel Jack knows Victor Victoria.
Quite a while.
From what I'm hearing, is Julie Andrews might actually be a dude.
Do you want to talk or do you want POTUS to talk?
I love POTUS, but I was just reading. Sorry,
because your ADD is kicking in again.
But I can't hear. You're the only one that has headphones, so I can't hear a thing. So sorry.
Sorry. Forgot. We gotta have headphones. Sorry.
My bad.
A force, a space force in this case, but to be adding to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which I've known about and read about and heard about all my life, just like General Milley to be the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is something that's a very special thing. Well, to add another force into the Joint Chiefs, and we're getting a 4-star, in this case, we're getting a 4-star general on your board. So we're doing something right here. So we're doing something that is such a monumental task. So it's been more than 72 years. The Air Force, I believe, was the last one. And so we have Air Force, and not since the Air Force has anything like this happened. And now we have Space Force added on with full honors, I must add, with full honors. So today we're here for a very important, it's really an important occasion because we're unfurling the flag. And with us is Chief Master Sergeant Roger Toberman. And he is, I'd like you to say exactly, because his rank is a very special rank. Tell us about that rank.
Yes, sir. I'm the Senior Enlisted Advisor for the United States Space Force.
The highest sergeant by far, right?
Yes.
Interesting. I call it the super duper missile. I must have missed when he said that because I didn't hear him say that. Anyways, he liked to say 17. He said it a bunch of times. I noticed the Space Force flag does not have gold fringe. Nice, Rebel Jack, for pointing that out. 72 years. Isn't that the same year JFK born? No, he was born in 60. What year was he born? 60. How much older is JFK than you? I think he was born in the 60s.
60, I think 61.
I don't know. So you guys think he was talking about... We wrote a letter to the Joint Chief? I'm just reading your guys' comments. What's Nancy Pelosi is a disaster. I haven't heard this. I'm going to watch it. Sorry,
presidency, if the president and vice president could not, consistent with the law, she could issue whatever executive order she wanted, fire disfavored political appointees, and in general, direct the executive branch as she pleased. She's third in line.
It's never going to happen. We'll keep our vice president very healthy, and I'll stay healthy. Never going to happen. She would be a disaster. Look, Nancy Pelosi's a disaster, okay? Even doing a thing like that with her crazy, but what she wants to do is get involved with the voting. She just got back to Washington. Everyone said, what was so long? She just got back here. So let's just see how it all works out. But I think we're going to have a great election. I'm getting really good poll numbers. For the most part, they're not being shown. And
okay, he's just talking about how she's a disaster. Thank you, Rev Jap. Okay, so he was born in 61. All right, let me see if our picture is still frozen. Let's see. It is still frozen. Dang it. Oh well. Should we call it a night, Brian? Or you have something to read?
No, I got all kinds of stuff to say, but you're watching videos. I don't even know what you're watching, so I can't even participate.
Oh, I'm sorry, because you don't have headphones on.
I can.
Oh no, there we are. We're back.
Oh my gosh. I think we've been here the whole time.
We're back.
What else is there to talk about? Gosh.
I don't know. I just want
the COVID virus thing, that's done. Like, except for like cities where it's still going on. And I think that the expose on corruption still has to take place within the hearts of people that are living within these cities. Like, people still are clueless and people don't care, and they're pretty like, they don't really care about what's going on. There's no sense of urgency.
Do you think Trump wants us to protest?
I think if you live in those cities, I think if you live in Los Angeles, and then yeah. Not even if you live, like, we're in Orange County. In our city council members, they voted to open up the city, and our county supervisors, Orange County, California, our county supervisors voted to open up the county. Certain beach cities on their own decided to sue Governor Gavin Newsom. So there's a sense of rebellion here in Orange County, where in deep blue Los Angeles, they're complying. So I guess if you live in if you live in Los Angeles County and you don't mind, like, just hanging out, relaxing at home like you have for the last few months, and you're fine with doing it, then by all means, don't get out of your house. Don't go to your corner and hold a sign that says, screw Governor Gavin Newsom, because you're fine with it. So again, there has to be, like, we're not at the place where people can truly see what's going on. I think that there's a lot. We're a long ways away from people getting mad at the government telling them what to do, because obviously there's still people walking around with masks on their face. People are still fine with it. It's getting hot here in Southern California, and people are still walking around. They're still walking around with a mask. It's bizarre to me, and I just look at people, and I've been wearing this hat everywhere I go, every day. So it's weird when people see me wearing the hat, and they come across. First of all, I'm like one of 3 people in the store that isn't wearing a mask. Not only am I not wearing a mask and you can see my face, but Heidi sees it. When they see the hat, they do double takes. They're like, not only you disgusting, vile, human being for
And
sharing
then
your
they try to
germs
take
everywhere.
a picture
Oh, they do that all the
of
time.
you. They try to pretend like they're just looking at
This
their
is
phone.
they do one of these. They're
They do
like,
one of these. They're like,
hi, Mom.
I'm gonna take a picture of the MAGA hat because it's so shocking to see someone with a MAGA hat on.
So yeah,
Woo, but I guess it
I've
is
never,
still-
I've never worn a mask. Not once. Not once have I worn, because it's like, why? I don't watch the fake news crap, you know. And again,
And this is what we do. If someone refuses to serve us, then we just don't go there. We're like, we'll just go somewhere else. We'll
there's
take
a
our
couple-
business somewhere
There's
else.
a couple stores
that say
here.
no mask, no service, and I'm like,
No mask, no service.
sorry,
Oh,
no
guess what?
business for you.
No business for you ever. I will
Ever,
never come.
I will never come and give you my
That's
business.
a nice Middle Eastern accent right
I
there.
know, it's
Yes,
very good.
You've been working on it?
No.
No.
I didn't mix it up with the Russian.
Okay, Russian. Okay, gotcha.
It's not good.
Russian.
Let's see what someone says. Mask equal. It is like a sheep's. That's what I think of it too. I just think, oh my gosh, it's like all these muzzles, like animals. Just the visual. It is. It feels like I want to go ah when I see everyone like that, for sure. I wear a red California Republic hat. I'm white, so I get lots of double takes from Hispanics. That's funny. That's so sad, and it's just a hat. It's just a red hat, and people are just, yeah.
If I, you know what makes it? I'm brown. Obviously, it's easy for me to wear because I'm brown. So
He's got brown privilege.
I got brown privilege, and I walk around.
Because it can't be racist.
But you know what's funny is when people were, and I've done this a couple times when we're like with not Democrats, when we're with leftists, you know, commies or whatever, and we're hanging out with them, and when I tell them that I identify as a white man, they freaking trip out. They would start laughing. I go, you know, I identify as a white man. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, but the scariest time with the MAG hat was in Venice Beach. We were walking down the boardwalk. The scary dude. And it was a crowded day. I've told the story before. It was a really crowded day. There were people all around us. And there was a Bernie Sanders event. And we decided to go full Trump and walk around at the Bernie Sanders event. We were just looking for conversations, you know? We're not looking for confrontation. We're just looking for conversations. And we had a lot of really good conversations. But one of the more shocking things was this older Hispanic man's reaction to you. He was like, I was walking like 10 feet behind you, and nobody knew I was with you. So he was right next to me when he passed you. And he was, what the F are you wearing that hat around here for? Like total gangster mode, throwing his hands up in the air and like puffing his chest. And he's like, you want to fight? Like, and Brian's just walking by with the hat. He's just walking
what
by
did
with
I
the
say?
hat.
What was my immediate response? You saw me when that happened. What was
You were
my?
like, crap! Why don't I have the
Why don't I
camera
have camera
on?
on?
I
Oh
want
my
to capture
gosh.
this freaktard on camera.
I have to capture Trump
That guy
derangement
was-
syndrome at its best, because you know what?
He
That guy
was
was
scared.
Okay.
He was so scary.
When you go up to anywhere, when there's somebody in the crowd that has that kind of energy on them, that's a bad energy, man. That is a bad person. When you have somebody that can walk into a crowd and comfortably just start barking anger directed at any kind of human being, there's something wrong.
No, we're just stuck again.
I don't care if I'm stuck. I don't care. Who cares? They can hear our audio.
Okay.
Maybe you need to turn this just a little bit or something. Maybe it's not. So yeah, it is.
It's an experience in California. Wearing the MAGA hat is an experience. I honestly, I hated it for a long time when Brian.
My son Kainoa, he's I think he's crazier than me, to be honest, because he comfortably wears the hat everywhere he goes, and he's comfortable because he can talk about the president. He can defend the president all day.
He's very smart.
So we would go to Disneyland, and Heidi would take off with the girls, and I'd have my one son. We'd be walking through Disneyland. This is like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. We'd be walking through with the MAGA hats on, and people would be appalled. And Heidi would get mad too. Heidi would be like, people spend a lot of money to come to Orange County and to come to Anaheim and to come to Disneyland, and that's the last thing they want to see is somebody wearing a MAGA hat. And I would just laugh. Heidi, when you would tell me that, me and Kaino, we'd just high five each other and go, okay, it's good. Mom still approves. So we would walk through the park, and there'd be long lines, and it's just a typical zigzagging line. So every time we would zigzag in front of certain people, they would be like, "It's freaking them again!" Oh, they would be they would be so mad, and it was funny because I'd be like, okay, there's only like 6 snakes left before we get on the ride. So we would see these people, and every time we saw them, they would be like just talking under their breath about blah 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 blah. And Kaino and I would just laugh because it was usually, I'll tell you what, okay, there was a lot of Mexicans that did that were like, look at you guys, but a lot of white people just were hating on the Trump hat, and they couldn't say anything because they knew we got the brown privilege. That's what comes with the hat, and I totally understand. If you're a white dude and you wear a red hat, that makes you a racist right away, and that's why That's why I wear the hat. To be honest, that's why I wear the hat, because they couldn't call me a racist, and it's easy for anybody of color to wear this hat. That's the easiest thing you can do, because it's like that's the very first thing. And sure, you're gonna have a lot of Hispanics. I get Hispanics coming to me all the time. I'm not even Hispanic. They come to me and start talking crap to me in Spanish, man. It's hilarious to hear somebody cuss me out in Spanish, and I know the cuss words because I can cuss right back, even though I don't know how to, I don't know how to use them. But whatever. I don't do that that often. but yeah, it's like there's a lot of hate that comes with wearing a stupid hat, just a stupid hat. And again, Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. We know it's CIA run. We know how much dirt is there. Club 33, all the symbolism, all the dirt that goes on with the Disney kids, and all the PSYOP, MK Ultra stuff that goes on with Disney. Disney is a horrible place. It's a big PSYOP.
I like beards. They're talking about beards. I like the beard. I think oh yeah. I don't know. There's maybe it is. I kind of feel here that I'll just go off on a tangent for a minute. I think there is something to say about what society has done to us to try to blend male and female and to try to like make it seem like there's no difference between.
Look at Heidi. Heidi bums out on Target all the time. When you go to Target, you go, everything's Metro here. Look at this.
Oh gosh, just a lot of the clothes, just this, even the styles for kids. I'm like, why are they making little boys' clothes like really fitted and just kind of gay? I'm just kind of like, you just see the agenda and then you see the ads. They slowly just are getting more, like more gay. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay.
But I just know that there's an agenda, and I see it clearly. And so I think that there is this resurgence. This is just my theory. This is just Heidi's theory. Of like men wanting to be more manly and women finding a more manly.
Okay, I just forget something that. Wait,
no, women are finding the more manlier man more attractive because we've been sold this idea for a while. Like, you want this really like soft man that's gonna be sweet and care about your feelings, and women are like finally realizing that no, I want something that's the opposite of me, because it's like it's the yin and the yang, they complement each other, you know. But
Heidi, you were attracted,
and I think men are more gravitating toward, they want a more feminine woman. Like I think society is forcing this on us, and so it's forcing us to like kind of embrace more. I don't know. I liked being feminine. I like accentuating my femininity because I think that's I just want to be a woman. I want to be a woman, and I hate freaking society trying to blend our genders, and I want to be all the good things, because there are, I know, Four Corners you're talking about last night, all the crazy women and how women operate on emotions and how it's not good when you're talking about, you know, leaders of countries. If you have women, you know, operating on their emotions and stuff, and you need the logic level head of a man, and that's true. I do think that's true, but you do need. There are a lot of traits that a woman has naturally, the good traits that are good, and you know that you talked about that. Just the being the loving, nurturing side of the female helps the man to have, at least I see it as parents. And you can apply what happens in the home on a large scale, I think, in society. So like Brian, as the husband and the father, is always concerned naturally, because that's just how his brain operates. He wants there's rules, and you follow the rules, and you have to stick to the rules. Otherwise your kids are going to grow up being stupid and rude and not good. And so he always is coming in all hard on the kids, and I come in and I'm kind of always begging him to show like a little bit of mercy or whatever, because I, as the woman, as the nurturer, I see that, you know what, this wasn't a fair punishment, and you need to think about each child. Each child is different.
Stop.
But I think that's why the male and female are good together.
I think that restricting my kid for 1 week from video games is a just punishment. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I do too.
Then why did you let him get out?
No, he already was a week. What do you mean? Didn't we punish him for a week?
Never mind.
He was punished. But anyway, I think that when we work together and we allow, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like when we can see how a man and a woman both have inherently good parts of their personalities that can work really well and complement each other, then we'll, instead of trying to make our genders all the same.
I'm definitely the bad cop. I'm definitely
I don't know why I was,
the bad cop. That's easy.
It was all the beard. It was the beard talk. It made me think about.
The beard means bad cop. Just so you know, if the beard means, it makes me a scarier person. Like without a beard, then I'm a friendly, like, hey man.
Or Quarter says, I'm a manly man. I haven't had a bath in a week. That's a manly. That's not going to win over any men. I mean, women. If you're looking.
Win over a lot of men. Bro.
If you're looking for a lady, you got to be clean. You got to smell good.
You know what I do? I heard when you go hunting, we go get some deer. We get some deer stuff and put it in your mouth, you know, and you smell like a deer. You do. I saw one of those hunting channels.
Be a man, but be a good man, you know? Be a good man. That's the most important thing.
I'm not always a good man. I'm not always a good man.
I just think men. Okay.
I try to be a good man, but sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I get mad. Sometimes I get like.
Okay, have you learned from sometimes Brian? Okay, this is.
Oh no!
I'm just gonna get into our marriage right now. A little bit.
I already know this is gonna be bad.
It's not gonna be bad for you. It's just something I learned and something I try to point out to you. So because I am a woman and I do have female emotions and stuff. And because, you know, when we're talking in the political world, we always refer to anyone that focus on emotions as libtards. So whenever we're
flavor saver. Wait a second, got a chip here. Like,
whenever we're in a fight, he always resorts to stop being such a libtard. Stop being such a snowflake. You're such a libtard.
What?
Yes, you say that to me. Like I'm not allowed to ever have any emotions or feelings, and that frustrates me that you always call me a libtard if I have any sort of emotions about things.
In an argument, it's all about the facts. It's not about emotions, and that's why I tell you how to. It's like, but don't give me the emotions.
And then what do I tell you? I say always the same thing. Lately I've been telling you, like, I get that you want me to focus on the facts and stuff, but you cannot. What?
I attract women with Purell cologne. That's a good scent. I'm just gonna say,
we're frozen again.
Purell is a good scent. So is like shampoo and conditioner in your hair.
You're making me forget my thought. My thought was that I always tell you, why can't you just treat me, you want me to be feminine. You love that part of me. You love that I'm a woman and that's what attracts you to me. So when you want to talk to me about something that you disagree with me, you don't have to talk to me like I'm a dude. Like you can talk to me like I'm a lovely lady that you respect, and you don't always have to like, you can change the way you speak to your wife. You don't have to talk to me the same way you talk to the guy at the grocery store. That's all I'm saying.
I talk very nice to the guy at the grocery store. I say, thank you very much for wearing gloves while you hand me that disgusting money.
I'm a lady and I want to be treated like a lady. Like I want you to be a gentleman, and I want to be treated as a woman. I want you to be soft with me. Like I want you to be a little bit softer with me than you would be with anyone else.
I've been working on my British accent. And I've been working on my tenderness. My tender...
You have to show a little tenderness, but then you can show your manliness too. But just be tender with your lady. Just be tender with her. If you want me to be a feminine woman, and I want you to, you know...
If you looked at my eyes right now, I had the look on my face like... I don't know how to...
I don't know.
That's part of the game of being married, is trying to figure out, like, what she's talking about.
And for women,
I didn't know what she was talking about.
And women don't always understand what they want either. We don't always understand what we're saying until, you know, you have yeah. Marriage is not for the faint of heart. You really like being married. Really like tests your.
What does that expression mean? That it's not for the faint of heart.
Like you got to grow some thick skin. You got to be able, because that person that you're married to is going to point out everything that's wrong with you.
But I see people that helps.
But that helps you grow to be a better person. Is someone that's, you know, real with you and honest with you.
But you only have to grow thick skin if you're throwing honesty back and forth. Because when you're being honest with each other, then like the truth sometimes. Because Heidi likes to be honest with me all the time. She like tells me, like, when there's something wrong that I might be doing, she's like, Brian, I'm going to have to throw some honesty at you. And it's never good honesty. It's never like, Brian, I'm going to pull you aside, and I appreciate you hanging up all those clothes that you did. It's never that kind of honesty. It's always like, Brian.
Brian. Thank you for fixing the screen. You fixed the screen. I did thank you for that.
I got to fix split screen. Don't remind me.
Heidi, definitely not. And Amber Heard type, and he ain't no Johnny Depp. I don't know what that means.
Who, me?
No,
Amber?
what Shiz and Giggle says. Oh, we're back.
We're back?
I don't know. I don't know if what I said made sense at all. I don't know. We're just talking about
One of these days, I'm going to paint. Like, when we're out here talking, I'm going to wire it so I can paint. Because, you know, that's something I need. That's something that I can clean my mind out with, I believe, is painting. Painting is something that I can kind of check out. If I can do that and talk simultaneously, I think that's something. Because painting is a good way to
therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. Because
Rebel Jackson's faint of heart means to not get weak at the sight or sign of aggression or viciousness. Being fainting at the sight of blood. Yes.
Yeah, don't be a snowflake.
Don't be a snowflake when you're married, man. You're going to take it from your husband, man. He's going to yell at you and tell you everything.
I will only yell at you, Heidi, if you have a bad argument. If we're debating, and we debate all the time.
But what if you're wrong and I'm right?
I know, but if you're
do you ever admit you're wrong?
Only if your argument is more than you're wrong. Because if your argument is you're wrong and you don't have anything to back it up other than
I'm
mad
right?
at you.
Am I ever right?
Of course you are.
Okay.
You're right all the time. No, you really are. You're right all the time.
Wow.
But when you're wrong, that's what I'm there for, to tell you you're wrong. And I'm not going to tell you you're wrong by just saying, hey, you're wrong. I'm going to say, this is why you're wrong. And I'm going to try to lay it out. And that's all I'm trying to do is when you're telling me I'm wrong, It's okay to tell me
Oh,
I'm
is
wrong.
Amber Heard like his ex-wife? Is that who?
Yeah,
that is?
come on. You don't look at the Hollywood. You got to look at In Focus magazine because every time I go to
In
doctor's
Style
office,
or People to get the trashy
I
dirt
try
on
to
the
say In
celebs.
Focus, In Style.
Shits and giggles. You just still in that world of entertainment. You're reading your trashy magazines. She's about to go to jail for ripping off his finger. Wow.
Okay,
So Johnny Depp.
Shiz,
Johnny Depp.
Shiz, have you seen his video? Have you seen I know I've shown it before. It gets old, but it's Marilyn Manson speaking about his BFF in the world,
Mr. Johnny Depp.
Mr. Johnny Depp, and about the tattoos that they share, because they both share a specific tattoo. You've seen it. I know we've watched that together, right? We've been hanging out for a while. Shiz. I just call you Shiz. What's up, Shiz? I don't know
Yeah,
if
she's talking about the video where he shows his tattoo like this. He's like, I got matching tattoos with Johnny Depp. And they talk about and it's a pedophile symbol.
Okay, you've seen it, exactly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing but a thing. Good old Johnny. Good old, what's her name? Heard?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard mentality.
Is she the one that was from his last wife? Yeah. The one that was, she's a pretty girl. I don't know.
You have to join the club, though. You can't, he only dates people who join the club. You can't have two different, you can't have your foot in both worlds. Once you join the club, that's who you date, people that are in the club. Yeah. It's not like the AAA club. You know, when you have like, you need roadside assistance. It's like their club is like, what do they beg for? What do they ask for?
So what does everybody miss? What do you miss? Is there anything that you can't really do that you miss during this stupid lockdown?
No, I don't even want to talk about the lockdown. The lockdown is so lame. Done with the lockdown.
But I'm curious what people... I kind of miss sitting down and eating. I miss Taco Tuesday. Because we would always go to the same place and get the best tacos and beans and rice and salsa. And
it was all right.
And it was a good deal. It was a really good deal. That was my favorite part. It was a good deal. I miss that.
You like Cafe Rio too?
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Cafe Rio. It's
That's
okay.
Oh my, have you guys seen this guy?
Who is he, a digger?
No, this another disgusting artist like Abramovich.
I miss sushi. Oh, man. You can get sushi takeout, though, you know? The bar, it's different. I know it's better. It's more better for you, you know? Having it at the bar. Those plates really start stacking up pretty quick, though, you know? When you're just hungry, you're just, you know?
So you guys all know who Marina Abramovich is.
Everybody knows who she is.
But do you know who this guy is? Gottfried. He's good friends with Marilyn Manson. And he lives in a castle. I talked about him before, I think.
So what's the purpose?
I don't know. I've just discovered this guy. I didn't know he existed. And I'm looking at all his art and I'm going, oh my gosh, he's a total sick. Look at his art. How is this art? Okay. What do you mean? Okay, do you want me to turn it off?
These are all covers for albums.
I don't know. I don't know what he does if he
Maiden cover.
I know. I don't know if he takes photographs and paints them or what, but they're in his part of his gallery. But he's got obsession with children and death. I'm not finding any of the scary stuff yet. I don't know. Oh, look at this. Even has... What the heck? Look at this. These people don't hide anything. Look at this. Look at this guy. Wonder if he's a Satan worshiper. I wonder if he's in the club. I wonder. Can't tell. Oh, look at who he's good friends with. Look who's hanging out with. He had the honor to sit with Bill Clinton.
That's what's his name. That's the guitarist that's Keith Richards.
This is not. No, this is Gottfried Hellmwein.
Him?
This is the artist, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, he's like deep in it, and I never even heard of him. And I mean, he's got some dark art.
Well, hey guys.
Oh.
It's getting early in the morning. I hope you guys are doing well. Saturday's coming up. I don't know what you're doing in your town, but I know that in Huntington Beach, we're probably going to go live again. As annoying as I don't want to talk about COVID anymore, I don't know what we can talk about tomorrow, Heidi, but there's got to be some kind of cue research, cue talking points, cue something that we can do tomorrow. We might go live. I don't want to talk COVID anymore. I'm done with COVID. It's like, yay, wear your mask if you want to wear a sheeple mask. Nobody's going to complain. What's going on here, Heidi?
Oh, I don't know. I'll get out of here.
Okay, yeah. You're getting lost.
No, I was trying to turn it off. But now our picture's frozen again. So, yeah, I think we should check out.
Okay. Well, to the 8 viewers that are out there. Okay, Shiz says nothing's changed. I'm a recluse. Now I have more friends online to talk to. Shiz, I'm not a recluse, but I'm definitely a homebody. I love reading. I could read all day. But I love that
Four
you guys
Corners
have
is
all,
doing great.
I love that you're all doing great, guys.
No, we're all hanging in there.
No gas station sushi.
And
Come on.
And I think these times, these live streams, hanging in, checking in with each other. I think it's helpful. I mean, I think we obviously keep coming back because we enjoy it. We enjoy talking to you guys, and thank you for the links that you guys shared. That was awesome.
And all I'm going back to what I said before earlier is my goal is to have everybody the best teacher that they can be. It's like when you have these conversations in your mind, at least you've thought it out before you go and have these actual conversations in the world with people, because it's like what you know and the information that you can gain, and especially the way you share it with your friends and your family, that can make a world of difference when it comes to, and I hate to just say it, it's not red pilling, it's telling people the truth, because it's not about me turning them into conservatives. It's me turning them into truth seekers that can find truth and learn on their own, despite me.
Good night, Four Corners. We love you too.
Four Corners, take care, guys. Self-educate. Do research all day, just like Shiz and Giggles does, man.
Yep.
Eve,
all day, every day.
Much love to you, Eve. Thank you very much, guys, and thanks for sharing. The next time we come back, if you have stuff that you might find, like,
don't be afraid of Brian saying it's lame.
No, I'm lame half the time. But the other time that I'm not lame, remember, I'm 100% right. Okay, guys, have a good night. Take care.
You guys drop good stuff. Please join me on my gig. I will, Four Corners.
We might see you tomorrow.
Yeah, if
live.
you're coming on live, I'll go on your live stream tomorrow. Okay, if you go, I promise. I'll check in with you tomorrow. Okay.
And we're going live probably in the noon
Maybe.
and 19 minutes. Maybe we'll see.